We are getting better AI types to actually attack in RRB in the next patch, but what are other 5 types of vehicles and missions and types of things that we need to have in the game as AI vehicles or AI targets in RRB? Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah guys, I wanted to talk about this because I think finally Gaijin is moving to a direction in RRB that a lot of people wanted. Spreading out the targets, you know, we saw that in the dev server in some maps. They are basically spreading it out throughout the map a little bit more, the targets. I still believe that they should be a lot more spread out, but at the end of the day, I mean, at least we are getting something. And of course more types of targets, you know, the more types of targets we have, the more variety of gameplay we will have. And of course, if we get smaller matches, the more stuff you have to do in a match besides just TDM, which can be very fun, but of course we need the most amount of variety. So this is a very hard word to say as a Brazilian, like a Portuguese speaking person that speaks English, right? But yeah, we need more targets that will basically make the mission a little bit more complex, making the game less about the grind itself and TDM, or like a deathmatch, right? And more about the gameplay itself and being a little bit different. So what are the 5 types of AI that we need, I think? And by the way, I will say some very specific things about top tier, but of course we can always have this type of thing in World War II and stuff, with their own kind of versions of these, okay? So the first one, I would say Cold War bomber formations. We do have some kinds of bomber formations in the game, you know, Yak 38s and stuff flying around and not doing much. But I gotta be honest, those ones are just annoying, you know, they're not really doing anything, they're just there like flies flying around. So why not just basically remove those and add large bomber formations to actually destroy in the air maps, you know. It could be large bomber formations like B-52s, Tu-95, stuff like that. Older, you know, BRs, you can have Tu-4s, B-29s, you know, you can have Henkel 111s, B-17s, you know, some of the maps that we used to have this type of thing, but we don't anymore. We used to have events for that and stuff, but nothing basically we're having right now, right? So yeah, I do believe that it would be a cool little thing. It may draw the attention of players a little bit away from doing actual like match related winning, like win match related kind of things, like killing other targets that are actual players. But that's the thing, right? If we actually have this type of thing that it's actually worth to actually doing, maybe people will try to defend these bombers. Maybe people will try to attack them if the reward is good enough. If it actually means that you might lose or win the battle, you know, easier, in a faster way maybe, or something like that, right? So it is something that would bring a little bit of a different kind of gameplay. Am I saying to introduce this now, just a bomber formation flying around the map, high altitude and stuff? No, I'm not saying that. They should, all of them that I'm gonna talk about it here, they should test it out with players in the events tabs, you know. Do some events, test it out, change, test it out again, and then implement, right? The second one would be, obviously guys, bring back the carriers, right? Enhance them even with some kind of fleet around the carriers. Yes, it is kind of realistic to have a whole fleet and a carrier like sailing around near a battlefield like that, but I mean, we have very short range airfields like formations, right, in the game, so it's still a game. So yeah, with that in mind, why not bring back the carriers, add more carriers? I mean, there are other countries that could have carriers that are a little bit different types of carriers. Maybe add a carrier, spawn in a carrier depending on the type of aircraft that it is in the game. For example, if there is I don't know, an F-14 in the game, you spawn in, the game like reads it out that he's actually going to spawn in an F-14, and then I don't know, maybe it spawns in a Forestal, right? And then maybe there's a Harrier spawn in, like one of those smaller USMC carriers, right? That are basically just for Harriers and helicopters and stuff. Stuff like that would be very, very cool. Spawn, do a Kuznetsov, you know, do the Chinese in the future, like carriers. Do this type of thing, add them to the map with fleets and stuff, add like a very big reward of destroying them so that we can actually try to use the anti-ship missiles that were added like a year ago and they were never even barely used anymore. So there's so much potential here of bringing different things for people to do in ARB and not just killing each other, which can be, you know, very, very fun, but can be kind of too much sometimes if you are doing that for the grind and doing that and over again. So that would be very, very cool to see. The third one is kind of related to the second one that I wanted to talk about. It's submarines. Yeah, submarines is kind of a stretch, I know. But there are aircraft that could actually deal with submarines in some forms. It would be a very specific thing, so I don't know how it would be implemented exactly. This is kind of a wild guess, and to be honest, it would be more for World War II than anything else. But even, I mean, there are some aircraft that could do ASW, right? Anti-submarine warfare. Again, it would be more for World War II, but we can see some Cold War stuff here as well, detection and, you know, stuff like that. Small little thing, another rewards, like another type of winning a match. You hunt the submarines, everybody's trying to hunt you, some people are defending you. Stuff like that would be very, very cool. Hard to implement, but still very cool. Easier to implement in World War II, but still. The fourth one is, I already talked about this 1 year ago, and it is some form of precision strike bombing targets, okay? And why am I not talking about seed or anything like that? Well, that's the thing. We are gonna have these types of targets technically, okay? So I'm gonna wait and see how they implement that with the radars and other stuff like that. And maybe in the future, I do a video talking about how they should implement seed as just a I mean, this is anti-radiation, right? This is anti-AA system, anti-radar kind of systems, right? That could actually be added. But, you know, I'm not talking about SEED because of that. We need to wait to see how the radars that they are implementing are going to be implemented, if there will be a way of killing them with anti-radiation missiles. But in a general sense, it would be kind of similar to what we will have, the precision strike bombing, right? It would be some form of bunker entrance, or I mean, I can even say some like semi-civilian targets over here. I don't think Gaijin will do that, but of course power stations, factories, you know, VIPs like are in a certain place and stuff, but that would be kind of civilian targets only, right? And that would be kind of a problem, controversial for Gaijin, I think, so they might not do that. But something like a bunker entrance or something like that would be very, very cool. Something that you can only hit properly if you're using a laser guided weapon or a TV guided weapon, right? Something that would give you a lot of rewards and make you do something, not just flying around killing howitzers if there's nothing else to do, if a target is flying away and running away, right? So it would be some kind of precision strike bombing. Again, they should test these things out, but still it would be cool. And the last thing, guys, would be, of course, an improvement over the bombing targets. Larger complexes of bombing targets, basically, right? Military complexes, bases, larger bases with different modules on the bases themselves, bunker complexes, something to be a little bit different from the normal bombing bases that we have, that, I gotta be honest, they're very boring to actually attack. And again, the game is very much focused on grind, it feels like right now, and the less it is about grind, the more it is about gameplay, the more people will want to play the game itself and will end up grinding more anyway, right? So I think a different mindset that Gaijin might be wanting to change in RRB might be a good idea over here. So yeah, guys, basically this is it. I don't want this video to be too long, but these are 5 types of targets that I really think should be added to the game. Again, let's wait and see how they implement the new types and how they will be in the map. But these are 5 ones that I think should be added anyway, together with that, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments what are the types of targets that you would want to see flying or in the ground or anything like that as an AI vehicle or something similar to that, that could be added to trying to bring a little bit of variety to ARB maps. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys, see you.